Hello everyone, welcome to our presented video, and we are here today because we want to present the case about Tom Lembong. But before we start, let us introduce ourselves. Start with me, my name is Muhammad Hilmi Amdal Fata, and my last three digit of ID is 102.
My name is Faisal Atik Prasetyo and my last three student number is 106.
Hello, my name is Pahat Budi Santiko. My student number is E1AO2500.
Hello, my name is Nur Fadila Hanifa Alma. My student number 104.
My name is Naswasna Putrutomo. My student number is 108.
Okay, let's start then. So, our group chose this case is because this case highlights one of the most debated legal and political issue in Indonesia this year. This case is not only about corruption, but it is also about the criminalization policy, the limit of executive power, and independence of judicial independence. And it became highly controversial after President Prabowo granted an application which raised question of about selective law enforcement and the future of anti-corruption efforts in Indonesia. With this discussion, we aim to understand the complexity of law enforcement and grant and encourage critical reflection on whether justice was truly served. We move to the next slide. The next slide we will talk about important vocabulary like first, corruption court tipikor. In Indonesia, it's mean sidang khusus untuk kasus korupsi di Indonesia. Next, abolition. Ini adalah gerasi presiden untuk membebaskan penjahat yang diberi hukuman. Lalu, then prosecutor. In Indonesia, it's mean seseorang yang memberikan dakwaan kepada terdakwa. Then there is the mens rea. Indonesia it mean niat jahat atau rasa bersalah. And last, appeal. In Indonesian it mean aksi legal untuk melawan tuduhan yang ada di pengadilan. Next.
The next is judicial independence is the ability of court to act without political interference, and then selective law enforcement is law applied unfairly only to certain people, and misuse of authority is using power beyond legal limits, and criminalization of policy is when a government decision is treated as a crime even without corruption intent. And next is 5W and 1H. The first is who. The main figure in this case is Thomas Rikasih Lembong or Tom Lembong, Indonesia State Minister from 215 to 216. Other important actors include the Jakarta Corruption Court, the prosecutors, and President Prabowo Subianto, who later intervened through presidential abolition. Civil society groups, academics, and the media also played a role by questioning the fairness of the case.
And next is what Tom Lembong was accused of corruption for issuing a sugar import permit during his time as trade minister. Prosecutors argued that his decision was made unilaterally, ignored existing procedures and caused that financial losses of 194 until 198 billion rupees. In July 2025, the corruption court found him guilty and sentenced him to 4.5 years in prison plus 750 million fine. However, a lot of criticism has emerged, especially from academics and NGOs, where they argue that case represented the criminalization of police. They claim there was no evidence of personal enrichment, meaning mens rea or criminal intent was absent. The controversy was reached its peak when President Prabowo granted abolition on August 1, 2025, releasing Tom from prison and sparking concern about judicial independence and executive overreach. And then when October 2024, the Corruption Eradication Commission or KPK began investigating Tom Lembong regarding the sugar import permit. November until December 2024, several witnesses, including trade officials and importers, were questioned. January 2025, Tom Lembong was officially named as a suspect. March 2025, the trial began at the Jakarta Corruption Court. April until June 2025, court hearings presented evidence and testimonies from both the prosecution and the defense. July 18, 2025, the Corruption Court delivered its verdict. Tom Lembong was found guilty, sentenced to 4.5 years in prison and fined 700 million. July 20, 2025, both Tom, defendant, and prosecutors filed appeals against the verdict. August 1, 2025, before the appeal was settled, President Prabowo granted abolition, releasing Tom from prison. After August 2025, public debates and protests emerged, questioning whether this decision weakened the judicial independence and encouraged selective law enforcement.
The next is swear. The trial took place at the Jakarta Corruption Court, Tipikor Court. However, the controversy spread nationally, becoming a central issue in public discussion, media coverage, and political debate across Indonesia. Why? Prosecutors claim Tom's unilateral decision for sugar imports bypass producers and caused 194 until 198 billion rupiah state losses. Critics argued, 1. There was no evidence of personal enrichment, mens rea was absent. 2. The decision was purely an administrative, part of his ministerial authority. 3. The case saw selective law enforcement against certain figures. The next is how the case was prosecuted under Article 2, Paragraph 1 of Law Number 1999 on the eradication of corruption, Undang-Undang Tipikor. After being found guilty, Tom and the prosecutors both filed appeals. Before the appeals were reversed, the president intervened with abolition, freeing Tom, but also triggering debates about whether this weakened judicial independence and blurred the separation of power.
Okay, so in this case, what law was violated? The first one is Article 2, Paragraph 1 of Law Number 31 of 1999 on the eradication of corruption, or we call it here in Indonesia as Undang-Undang Tipikor. It prohibits unlawful acts that enrich oneself, another person, or corporation, causing financial loss to the state. What is the solution? The first, court decision. It gives 4.5 years in prison plus 750 million rupiah fine, or additional 6 months if the fine is unpaid. The second is appeal. It filed by both the defendant and the prosecutors. Third, the presidential action. The president gave abolition granted on August 1st, 2025. And what is the impact? It sparked controversy with concerns about weakening judicial independence, selective law enforcement, and setting a precedent for future corruption cases. And the last one is the conclusion. The case of Tom Lembong reflects the complexity of enforcing anti-corruption laws in Indonesia. While the court viewed his action as an abuse of authority causing state losses, many argued it was merely a policy decision without criminal intent. The subsequent presidential abolition highlighted tension between executive power and judicial independence, raising concerns about selective law enforcement and the potential weakening of Indonesia's anti-corruption agenda. This case reminds us that true justice requires not only strict law enforcement, but also fairness, consistency, and protections against the misuse of legal instruments for the political purposes.
Okay, I think that's all from us. Oh, in case you still don't understand, you can ask your question in comment below. Thanks for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.